All right, guys, check it out. Here it comes. This is what I built the deck for, and again, they're just 2-ofs in our entire deck. I'm really happy I was able to pull this off. Iridescent Tiger, warp him out for just 3 mana. We have 1 mana left over. He adds 5 mana himself, so we have 6 mana to work with. So here comes the... we'll get the Quake Mold down, warp him out. We could have gone with Clive as well, and we still have 3 mana left over. Go ahead and warp out the Stormscale Scion. You see it says Storm 2 right there, so we are creating 2 more tokens of this dude right here. They're dragons. They all see each other. Boom, bam. Let's go. Oh, I was going to say we actually need a land to get the triple warp off, and unfortunately this one comes in tap, but we'll still do it. So here comes a warped out Iridescent Tiger. Add a bunch of mana. You know what, we'll actually use the 1 green mana. No, we'll use the 2 green mana. I think having a blocker is better, so we'll go with the 1 green mana to play the elf, and then we will warp out Clive. Devotion of 6. Do you want to discard your hand and draw 6 cards? Yes, please. And oh my gosh, this elf has haste because other creatures have haste, so we can tap him to add mana. We had 1 floating mana left over, so tap the Zookeeper. And who's better? I think we get out the mole, because Etali, well, let's see what Etali finds from our deck. He will be in the thumbnail, so we'll go with an Etali. Triple warp cost right there. Hey there, neighbor, and welcome to the first deck of Edge of Eternities. I'm really excited to bring you guys the build that I have for you today, and we're only playing 2 new cards from the set. One of them's kind of a whatever card, but the main guy who we're looking at is... Oh, game froze. The guy who we're looking at is Tannuk, Steadfast second, for 4 mana, 2 colorless, and 2 red. This legendary creature, he's a Kavu pilot. He is a 3/5 body, so 5 toughness is kind of nice. And he says that other creatures we control have haste, but the keyword on here is artifacts, and red creature cards in our hand have warp 3. So that's the new mechanic from the set, and we can see warp. It says you may cast a card with warp from your hand for its warp cost. So all of our red creatures now cost 3 mana. We can warp them on the battlefield, and remember, Kavu gives them haste, so they can attack in, and then we exile that creature at the beginning of our next end step. They basically go into exile, but then we can cast them later on in the game for their actual mana cost. So you guys can imagine that we are just trying to cheat out some of the biggest, baddest red creatures in Standard. So this is a big red deck, and that is basically everything in this column right here. All of them are basically 2-ofs, as you can see. I just wanted to include a little bit of jank for you guys as well. Maybe as the deck goes on, I might include a few different creatures. Maybe we'll go up 4 copies of some of them. I just wanted to try a bunch of different creatures out. The first one, and he only costs 4 mana, so this one is pretty cheap. But Anzrag, the Quake Mole, he's a mole god. He is 8 power, 4 toughness, and whenever he becomes blocked, we get to untap a creature we control, and then after this attack phase, there is an additional combat phase. So if we can warp this guy in, if we have Tannuk on the battlefield, we warp this guy in, and he attacks in for 8 damage. If the opponent does choose to block him, we can untap a creature, and there is a additional combat step. So that one might be a little bit funny to try out as well. Another creature that I really like for 5 mana is the Twinflame Tyrant. He is 3 power, 5 toughness. He has flying, and it says if a source we control would deal damage to an opponent, it deals twice that much damage instead. So this guy comes in as a 3 power, 5 toughness creature. He does have haste thanks to Tannuk if we do warp him out, so then he can attack through for 6 damage. And then another creature card, we lost Etali, the Primal Conqueror, which breaks my heart because I absolutely love that dinosaur. But we're also going to be trying out Etali, the Primal Storm. So it's the cheaper version of Etali. He's not 7 mana, he costs 6 mana. And again, we're going to try and warp them out. And this Etali, I've tried him in my dinosaur deck, and I personally just don't think he's a good card at all, because normally you have to cast him for 6 mana. If you're ramping a little bit, maybe you can get him out on turn 5. and then for 1 turn he sits on the battlefield. Oftentimes opponents will just remove him instantly, but if you do get to attack with him during your attack step, and again, he will have haste if we warp him out thanks to Tannuk, then he says whenever he attacks, we get to exile the top card from the opponent's library and from our library, and then we can cast that card for free without paying its mana cost, which is really, really nice. I'll be honest though, when I have used this guy in my Dino deck, I kid you not, I have on more than one occasion, the top card on each player's library, the opponent's and mine, has just been a land, and normally you can't play an additional land for turns, so Etali Primal Storm can be a massive, massive miss, but if we hit any of these other creatures from our deck, I think we'll be pretty happy. So yeah, we're trying out Etali the Primal Storm. Maybe if we just hit nothing but lands, maybe I'll cut him, just because like I said, I don't think he's that good. Another creature that I do think is really, really good is Overlord of the Boilerbilges. Normally he's 6 mana. Normally you can impend him for 4 mana. Of course, we hope to warp him out for 4 mana. And when we warp him, that's essentially casting him and putting him on the battlefield, where when he enters, deal 4 damage to target opponent. And he will have haste if we warp him out. And whenever he attacks, we get to deal 4 damage to an opponent as well. And this guy is a 5/5. So if they do have one blocker in the way, when this guy enters, you can launch a 4-powered fireball to that creature. Can remove most creatures in standard, so then they'll have no blockers, and then you can just instantly attack with this guy, deal 4 damage to the opponent's face, and then punch them for 5. So that's a 9 damage right there. Of course, if they don't have any blockers whatsoever, the first fireball can also just go and deal 4 damage to them. So that is 13 damage right there. So Overlord of the Boilerbilges, I think will work really, really good with Tannuk. And then one final little combo I'm thinking of is, I guess another creature from the Final Fantasy set is Clive. He's a 6 mana creature. He's a 5/5. When he enters, we can discard our hand and then draw cards equal to our devotion to red. So devotion, you basically count every pip of red mana in all of the creatures we control or enchantments on the battlefield. We don't play any enchantments or planeswalkers or artifacts, just anything that's red. You count the red pips in there, and that is your devotion to red. So if we have Tannuk on the battlefield, devotion is 2. If we warp out Clive, then our devotion goes up to 4. We can then choose to discard our entire hand and then draw 4 cards, which is pretty nice. Of course, if we have another creature on the battlefield, maybe we do impend the Overlord of the Boilerbilges, then that's another 2 devotion to red right there. So then we would be drawing 6 cards as well. So that can be quite nice, just a really nice way to just reload your hand. So he's another creature that I want to try out as well. And then a kind of funny combo I thought of was using the Stormscale Scion from the Tarkir Dragonstorm set. This is a 6/6. He costs 6 mana. You get a 4/4 flying dragon, which stat-wise isn't the best, but other dragons we control get +1/+1. Not that we really play too many other dragons, just the Twinflame Tyrant, but he has the Storm mechanic, really busted ability where when you cast this spell, we get to copy it for however many spells we cast during our turn as well. So what I really hope to pull off, I hope to ramp into Tannuk where we can get him out on turn 3, so that turn 4 we can warp something for 3 mana, and then we'll still have 1 mana left over. And I actually hope to warp out the Iridescent Tiger. When this creature enters, if you cast it, which warping does count as casting, we get to add 5 mana, 1 mana from any color. And we'll still have the 1 original mana left over from the 4 mana we had. So that's 6 mana right there. So then I hope to warp out another creature card for 3 mana. Can be anything. So then that will count as 2 spells cast, and then we'll still have 3 mana left over. Then I hope to warp out the Stormscale Scion, and we will have cast 2 other spells that turn, the Iridescent Tiger, and hopefully something else as well. And then if we warp out the Stormscale Scion, we would be creating 2 other dragons of these. They all get +1/+1. They all see each other, so they all pump each other up quite a bit. This is a red creature that has haste thanks to Tannuk, and he does have flying, which is usually enough to just go over the top from the opponent. So yeah, I hope to close out a game that way as well. So I don't know how reliable that combo will be. And that is, again, why just all of these are just 2/2s. Hitting this combo, now that I think about it, might be kind of hard if we only have 2 copies. of each of them if you want to hit that combo more reliably. Might need to go up 4 copies of all of them. So yeah, you might see a few different iterations as we play a little bit tonight. Stay tuned for the deck outro, because that will be, I think, the final version that I post as well. I guess I can talk about some of the other cards. A little bit of removal. Burst Lightning for 1 mana, deal 2 damage to any target, so kind of take out any early creatures that the opponent might have. Abrade for 2 mana, you can deal 3 damage to a target creature, so another way to remove a creature. And we can also destroy an artifact, and there are quite a few artifacts from this new set, so I think Abrade might be low-key a pretty nice card to have around for a little bit. And then we do have a little bit of ramp, because like I said, I kind of hope to play Tannuk on turn 3, so we are going with some ramp. Of course, some of the best ramp cards in Standard right now being Llanowar Elf for 1 green mana. You can tap him to add 1 green. Glimpse the Core, 2 mana. Search your library for a basic forest, but this is where I am just so happy that Stomping Grounds and some of these shock lands are back in Standard, because this land counts as a mountain and counts as a forest, so we can find Stomping Grounds with Glimpse the Core, and that can help add the red right there. And then the one other creature we're trying from the new set is the Zookeeper Mechan artifact creature. He's a robot, and for 2 mana he enters as a 1 power 3 toughness, and you can tap him to add some red mana as well. So a little bit of ramp right here, a little bit of removal right here, but really what we're trying to do today is get out Tannuk and then warp out some of these really big creatures right here. And like I said, I'll play around with the amounts of them, see how it goes. And in the sideboard, since this is a big red deck, I'm just throwing in a few other cards that you guys could think of including as well. Terror of the Peaks would be another pretty nice creature to warp out with Tannuk, because yeah, he does get haste, so you can attack through for 5 damage. Trumpeting Carnosaur might honestly be the better dinosaur than Etali, because you get to discover 5, so you will guarantee hit something of mana value 5 or less. You could, of course, maybe hit one of these cheaper things, which you wouldn't be too happy with, but yeah, you might be able to hit the Quake Mole. You could maybe hit the Iridescent Tiger. You could hit the Twinflame Tyrant, and that's about it from those creatures. But yeah, Trumpeting Carnosaur might be a little bit better. And then I went with the Stormscale Scion, because like I said, I do want to try and get that storm mechanic to go off, but honestly, Drakuseth, Maw of Flame might be the better dragon to go with. He is a 7/7, and then whenever he attacks, and again, if we warp him in with Tannuk, he gains haste, so he will be able to attack right away. You get to deal 4 damage to any target, so you launch a 4-powered fireball to the opponent, and then it deals 3 damage to up to each of 2 other targets as well, so you can deal 3 damage to 2 other creatures then as well, which is really nice. And then this guy punches in for 7 plus the original 4-powered fireball that you launch to their face, so that's 11 damage right there. So he would be another really good inclusion in your deck. And then honestly, Gishath, Sun's Avatar, he does count as a red creature, so you could warp him out as well. We don't play too many dinosaurs in the deck. You could go with a few more dinosaurs then as well. But yeah, you could go with Gishath. And guys, Progenitus is also a red creature. You guys could warp this guy out for 3 mana, and then you get a hasty 10/10. He has protection from everything, so opponents cannot block him. So that is a guaranteed 10 damage right there as well, which could be kind of funny as well. But yeah, I went with this package. I think they're pretty nice creatures. Maybe not the typical creatures that you guys might see in other Tannuk Steadfast decks. But yeah, we're going to try it. I've been rambling long enough. Let's just jump into some games, see how the deck does. All right, guys, opponent goes first, but we do have Tannuk into Iridescent Tiger into a Stormscale Scion that will have Storm 1 then at least. But hey, maybe we can scry into some other creatures along the way. So maybe we could get a triple. Another Kavu, not what we want to draw, especially because we see he's playing green. I will take a Stomping Grounds. Do really want to hit the 4th land drop. We see Crackland with Forest, so yeah, that most likely is a Tifa deck or a Landfall deck, so we are just going to have to remove Tifa just right away. And then, I mean, if they have another one, or if they have the Mossborn Hydra, they might be a little bit too quick for us. There is another Escape Tunnel. That land does enter tap, though. Ooh, a Clive, also really, really nice. Stomping Grounds can come in tapped. Do we see the Mossborn Hydra into a Crackland? I hope not. Ooh, it's just the Traveling Chocobo. That you love to see. I just hope he doesn't have a fight spell. Yes, no creature either. The Quake Mole, that's pretty funny. We'll just name Kavu with this. And then we will play our Tannuk. And then, yeah, next turn we have Iridescent Tiger. For 3 mana, we'll have 1 mana left over. Oh, we can actually get a double warp off. We'll get a triple warp next turn. Just please don't remove our creature. Please. I beg you. Play a Bristly Bill. Play your little tiny Chocobo. Please. Please, Tiger Balls 11. Oh, another Traveling Chocobo. Yo, this guy is going to get absolutely fried. These little, look at these things are chickens, basically. These things are chickens for this dinosaur. Not dinosaur. For this dragon. I mean, dragon, dinosaur, they're basically the same thing. All right, guys, check it out. Here it comes. This is what I built the deck for. And again, they're just 2-ofs in our entire deck. I'm really happy I was able to pull this off. Iridescent Tiger, warp him out for just 3 mana. We have 1 mana left over. He adds 5 mana himself, so we have 6 mana to work with. So here comes the... I mean, we'll get the Quake Mole down, warp him out. We could have gone with Clive as well, and we still have 3 mana left over. Go ahead and warp out the Stormscale Scion. You see it says Storm 2 right there, so we are creating 2 more tokens of this dude right here. They're dragons. They all see each other. Boom, bam. Let's go. And this guy just never saw it coming. Triple warp cost. Stormed off right there with Iridescent Tiger. Tiger Balls. GG, buddy. Tiger Balls. What is the chance that this dude, Tiger Ball, actually sees a creature card named Tiger? It seems like Iridescent Tiger better than Tiger Balls. Anyways, guys, that's the video right there. Lock, stock, and barrel. Ship it. Tie a bow on it. GG. Alright, guys, we gotta go first, and we do have Tannuk into Iridescent Tiger. We've already seen that combo once before, so that's quite nice. We can even get the Zookeeper down, so if we find another land, we can get Tannuk on turn 3, which is quite nice. Opponent with the new Tezzeret card sleeves. Alright, so this guy might be a hasty rabbit deck. Kind of go wide, go big creatures. I think we can do it a little bit better because, yeah, we will be able to get Tannuk on turn 3. Selesnya colors, so yeah, for sure, rabbits. The guy is pretty good. They can grow kind of quickly, but yeah, we have Tannuk coming down, and then we will have a double warp, and yeah, we'll be drawing quite a few cards. I think we can get a triple warp next turn. Please, no, don't do it. Okay, I thought he was gonna play a Sheltered by Ghosts, so that's a big no blocks from us. Oh, I was gonna say we actually need a land to get the triple warp off, and unfortunately this one comes in tap, but we'll still do it. So here comes a warped out Iridescent Tiger. Add a bunch of mana. You know what? We'll actually use the 1 green mana. No, we'll use the 2 green mana. I think having a blocker is better. So we'll go with the 1 green mana to play the elf, and then we will warp out Clive. Devotion of 6. Do you want to discard your hand and draw 6 cards? Yes, please. And... oh my gosh, this elf has haste, because other creatures have haste, so we can tap him to add mana. We had 1 floating mana left over, so tap the Zookeeper, and... I mean, who's better? I think we get out the mole, because Etali... well, let's see what Etali finds from our deck. He will be in the thumbnail, so we'll go with an Etali. Triple warp cost right there, and I mean, yeah, deal with this. Let's see what Etali finds for us. Ooh, a Zookeeper. I'll play that one, and a Sheltered by Goats. Yes, please. That's only 4 damage right there. I mean, we're putting Sheltered by Ghosts on Etali, take away his Burrow Guard, Mentor, and Yeah, again, I don't know if the Trumpeting Carnosaur would have been better than Etali right there. I mean, I guess it would have also... Trumpeting Carnosaur, I think, would have also found the Zookeeper. So yeah, finding Sheltered by Ghosts, that was quite nice. But yeah, this guy's going to lose all his rabbits. Only thing he could trade with would be the Iridescent Tiger, but he would have to put all his guys in front of that one. And, I mean, that creature had done its job, and... yeah, honestly, I thought he gave red creatures haste, giving that little elf haste so we could tap him to add mana right away, Zookeeper being able to add mana, and then the one extra floating mana from the Iridescent Tiger, allowing us to warp out an Etali. Man, when this deck pops off, it is a ton of fun. Clive allowing us to just draw 6 cards right there, and also really nice. So yeah, we could have either gone with Etali or the Mole God. And yeah, I don't think you could go wrong with either one. But yeah, honestly, this Iridescent Tiger, I thought it was kind of a joke, kind of including him in the deck. But honestly, being able to add 5 extra mana, if you do have 1 extra mana left over, then with Tannuk, you're able to warp out 2 other creatures as well. So yeah, I actually really like this guy in the deck. So GG. All right, guys, we get to go first. Again, no ramp, but we do have some removal, and we have Tannuk in our opening hand with the Iridescent Tiger, so maybe, fingers crossed, we can find our Stormscale Scion, get some storm action going off. And yeah, we got, again, Stomping Grounds in our opening hand. I have to go with the, like, yeah, the planet versions of the Stomping Grounds. Looks really, really cool. So let's hope the opponent's here. And it looks like he is, actually. So Stomping Grounds, turn 1. Probably Mountain on turn 2. Ooh, blue, that you actually don't really like to see. Counter magic is a thing to worry about, but that's where Cavern of Souls can be pretty clutch. Ooh. Oh, and we did draw it. Okay, guys. I'm praying. I am fingers crossed. Oh, yeah, but there we see target creature gets -2/-2, so I'm sure he is sitting on a ton of removal. But, I mean, we're going to try it. Please, just for 1 turn. Just don't kill my creature. Maybe he tries to counter this. He's like, oh, new card, counter. And he didn't notice the Cavern of Souls. Oh, he's highlighting the Cavern of Souls. Bro, this guy's reading everything. He's like, why can't I counter this? Well, if I can't counter it, I'll just remove it. No removal. Uh-oh. Momo. All right. We're just going to go for it, guys. We are going to warp out at warp speed the Iridescent Tiger. Bro, that does count as a counter spell. That does count as casting. Oh. All right, well, that is unfortunate, but... hopefully no more removal, at least. No, he goes straight to end step. Ooh, he's all tapped out. Oh, I'm so sad this guy had counter spell, man. Was it even a new card? It was not. All right, then I guess we get down the Overlord of the Boilerbilges. 5 plus 8 plus 3. 16 damage. Oh, careful there, Momo. 16 damage, if my math is correct. And then we do have a Burst Lightning. So, yeah, I think eventually we'll be able to get him. He discards a Valgavoth, so opponent looking to do some degenerate reanimation. So let's just go ahead and warp speed out the Overlord, blast you for 4, go ahead and attack in, and it's just the thing. So I just started blasting away. We are 1 damage short. Oh, but we can cast this guy. If you cast... wait, okay, pass. It's the opponent's turn. It's when he enters. Yeah, so he could counter this one. But he does have to deal with our Tannuk. 4 mana Zombify, so he would have 1 mana left over. Could, of course, have a land for turn, so then he is up to 2 mana. There is the Zombify. There is the Zombify. Oh, but no mana? Let's absolutely go. Ladies and gentlemen, say keep your backhand strong. Counter this, baby. Bahap. Get him out of here. All right, guys, we got to go first. This hand is really nice. Can maybe get Tannuk out on turn 3, and then just hope he doesn't eat a removal spell. I have played against 2 people who have literally played nothing but kill spells. And one of them we beat, the other one I just didn't feel like sitting through that, 15-minute match. So let's hope that this guy also isn't playing nothing but removal. We'll say no attacks there. So yeah, turn 3 Tannuk is coming down. That is quite nice. Of course, no, okay, yeah, this guy looks like he's trying to go pretty tall. We will go ahead and name Kavu. So yeah, here comes Tannuk. And then next turn, we do have a Hasty Etali, Hasty Tasty Etali coming down. If we find another creature, actually, I think we'll be up to 6 mana, so we can warp out 2 things then. Guy was hovering over our Tannuk. Could, of course, see a Sheltered by Ghosts. It's not. It's an Arabo. Just gonna pump up his creature, but that is not... Yes, and we found a Twinflame Tyrant. Yo, this is absolutely goated. Stomping Grounds, pay 2 life, and then Etali can get warped out for 3. And Twinflame Tyrant, go ahead, get warped out for 3 as well. And then we attack with these 2. Etali, find us something good. Another Kavu, not what we need. And I will take your Sky Knight. I guess I will go with a Tannuk. I guess I should have maybe ordered that differently. Because, yeah, if we had Tannuk enter as well, that would have grown that one as well. But, yeah, this guy's taking 6 damage in the air. There we did find semi-decent hit from Etali. But, yeah, there we see how nice the ramp actually was. Could warp out 2 creatures right away, and they both gain haste. I mean, most of the time these creatures, they need a full other turn to, get the actual value from them. And, yeah, I don't think this opponent's too happy about that. So we're getting the Salty Rope, first one of the season. And well, no, he's hovering. He's looking. He's reading. Oh, he just takes all that damage. Yikes. All right, and yeah, we can play these guys later on. Etali, we can just get him down next turn for 6 mana. And yeah, he comes in with haste. We'll get 2 things from the opponent's deck. And, yeah, don't know how much you want to actually attack into us. Create a cat token, that one says, I believe. Ooh, that's not the play, buddy, because that guy does not have vigilance. We drew a burst lightning anyway, but yeah, like I said, we could go with Etali. The smarter play is, of course, going with Twinflame, just because he does get haste. Everyone is dealing double damage, so yeah, just attack through and get him like that. He should have kept that guy back to block, but even if he did, this guy, well, would only be dealing 6 damage, so he wouldn't die, but we could have then... Yeah, I guess we tapped the mana. You do need to pay attention when tapping mana, because it kept no red mana available to us, which is like, this can produce red, Cavern of Souls can't, Stomping Grounds can, and the Zookeeper can, so should have maybe tapped that a little bit differently to deal 2 damage to the Sky Knight Squire. So... yeah, GG. Really, really clean game. Got a double warp on turn 5. Yeah, because Elf on turn 1, Zookeeper on turn 2, Kavu on turn 3. Oh, and then Stomping Grounds on turn 4. Yo, so it was a double warp cast on turn 4 with an Etali and the Twinflame Tyrant. All right, guys. Opponent goes first. We don't have any ramp, which is unfortunate, but we do have Tannuk. And we got Stomping Grounds. Oh, Chocobo, that's, you already know that is going to eat an Abrade real quick with the swiftness. Okay, that is quite nice. Get that one down, and then Abrade, deal 3 damage to your little Chocobo. Hopefully he's not playing too much removal. And then Tannuk into Overlord will be really nice. And then the turn after, we can go with Clive. We'll get down a mountain for right now. Because, yeah, Overlord, yeah, he's going to be able to deal 4 damage to some creatures. Ooh, another Abrade, that you love to see. We will name Kavu. Two, 4. Next turn we'll have 5 mana. Yeah, so that's where it's a little bit unfortunate we weren't able to ramp. If we ramped 1 turn, then we would be up to 6 mana right now. This Chocobo gonna take some Fire Blast to the face. Opponent's gonna sack a land, and he's like, oh, I might be out of range right now. No. No, this is like that one meme. You guys will know it when I say it. So we'll play that one, and then we will warp out at warp speed. Overlord, he enters, gets to blast something for 4. Ha, this guy's putting Snakeskin Veil on right away. That's fine. I was going to say it's like the meme of like, well, and so I just started blasting. I guess I will. Wow, that is instant speed. I mean, we can also just cast this guy next turn as well. I think I will keep Abrade. Definitely don't attack with Tannuk, and then we'll launch 4 right to the dome. This guy's scared. You know he's scared. So anyways, just started blasting. All right, end the turn. 1 card in your hand. Can we impend this guy for 4? But then we won't have enough to warp. Double crack. Is there any priority? No, he's gonna be able to get us now. That does suck. Dude, he had to have a removal. That is kind of crazy. Is he going to attack though? He does. All right, well, we can still get him. Here, look, we can do it like this. All right, and now he is in top deck mode. We will impend this guy, and then we'll have 2 mana left over. So now you ain't got any more protection spells. So I just started blasting. Get that trash Chocobo out of here. Next turn, what do we do? Do we go with Clive? Draw 2 cards? If I pay 2 life, 2, 4, 6, that's only 7. Oh, I didn't mean to do that, actually. We will go with Clive. Oh, we get to draw 4 because the Overlord's on the battlefield, so for sure we're going to take action there. Draw 4 cards. Twinflame Tyrant is pretty nice. Abrade is also really nice. Can hopefully take out Bristly Bill. Of course he has a crack land, because why would he not? Oh, but we can make him fight up to 1 other creature. Let's go. You wanted to fight earlier, buddy? I think he's just giving up, actually. As the opponent... Oh, he's going to double the counters. I am such an idiot, man. This guy got me so hard. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. All right, we will name Dragon with this. We can go ahead and get out Twinflame. And now Abrade is dealing 6 damage. All right. Now... His opponent's crafty, but yeah, ran out of mana. Just had too much removal, and yeah, there the removal did come in really clutch. We got, yeah, I did play that really badly with our Clive. I should definitely just not have blocked with him, because I was going to transform him, and then we can see his chapter 1 says he fights up to 1 other creature, and he's a 9/9 himself, so then we would have been able to remove the Bristly Bill while keeping our Clive on the battlefield. But hey, we got there in the end. GG. All right, guys, we get to go first. This is quite a bit of ramp, but you kind of really want Kavu in your opening hand. I don't know if I want to take 2 mulligans. I don't think I will, so I think we'll ship this one I think we'll ship the Twinflame Tyrant back. And we will keep this. Go Stomping Ground into the Thornspire Verge. See if our opponent is here. Doesn't look like it. Alright, looks like he is here. So yeah, we'll get rid of the Twin Flame, and then Stomping Ground can come in tapped. Ping us for one. Oh, and we drew a Kavu. Let's go. We just need to find a 4th land drop. But I mean, this guy is playing in Orzhov colors, so he probably has just a bunch of removal right now. And we have no creatures coming out, so... yeah, I think that will be one of the bigger problems of this deck. I think we can name Kavu. And then this guy should be uncounterable. But yeah, there's the stick and Bitter Triumph. This guy's like, hey, this is a new card that I haven't seen before. What does it do? And he exiles him. All right. And just another land. So let's try it again. But yeah, there's a stick yet again. And then we can attack with the fish. Okay, that does say mana value 3 or less. I wonder if he just ripped that one, just assuming it would hit our Tannuk. Ooh, do we have a warp speed ahead, guys? Warp speed ahead. I think we can get this guy down. We're just gonna warp though. So yeah, we can pay him for his full cost, not quite. We can impend him, but we want to warp him out. I mean, some more stick from the opponent. What a fun deck. Alright, well, he doesn't have haste anymore, which is unfortunate because he did remove our Kavu. We will get down the Zookeeper. Alright, and then this guy does go to exile, but we can just cast him next turn for 6 mana because we can add 1 red mana with the Zookeeper. Alright, I think this guy's just trying to do his dailies. He's just trying to kill as many creatures as possible. I mean, eventually he will have to run out of removal. The Iridescent Tiger, I think we can do better than that one. Could have maybe kept him on top just to get another counter put on this creature, because yeah, now we just drew a land. Alright guys, yeah, this isn't really a game that I'm sure you guys enjoy watching. So yeah, we will just cast the Overlord. Go ahead and ping this guy for another 4. And then we can at least attack with the Zookeeper, maybe. Alright, I'm gonna have to hit this guy with the nice deck. Alright, thanks for doing that. Before I attack though, because we can maybe put another counter. No, because we're just drawing a land, and we would have to tap that guy. I do want to get some damage through. I'm sorry, guys. I can't understand why you would enjoy playing like this. All right, well. I think this guy's actually might be able to beat us. Well, we can do 8 damage like this. But I do also kind of want to save this for his Forsaken Fortress. He just might use that to just gain some life turn after turn. But yeah, this guy is just sitting on just nothing but removal, and we're just drawing nothing but lands. I cannot believe it. I will take another Overlord. Because that's... Oh, man, that's 12 damage. No. How many... Oh, there's still 2 more Burst Lightnings in my deck, so... Alright, he's down to 9. Like I said, we can do 8 damage. I don't know why I impended that guy. Oh, he gains life from those lands as well. Oh, I guess we could also draw the Twinflame Tyrant. Could also draw the Twinflame Tyrant, and then we will be dealing double damage. Oh, you lose life equal to that? Yes, let's absolutely go. Thank you. All right. Hey there, neighbor, and welcome to the post-game wrap. Today we looked at a really, really fun card from the new set, Tannuk, Steadfast second. We saw from a lot of the games being able to warp stuff out for just 3 mana, mainly just red creatures is the only thing we can warp out. We didn't look at any artifacts. But yeah, being able to warp out some of the biggest, baddest red spells we have in Standard is just so much fun. And after playing with the deck, I think the one change I would make, and it was in the deck intro, I had the Drakuseth in the sideboard. I think he's just so much better than the Mole, so I took the 2 copies of the Mole God out, and I would go with 2 copies of Drakuseth, Maw of Flames, just because the Mole, you know, he comes in, he does have haste, and he deals 8 damage. If the opponent chooses to block him, then you can have another creature go through an additional attack step. I just think Drakuseth is just so much better. He's flying 7 damage in the air, so you're guaranteed, unless they have a flyer or a creature with reach. But when this Drakuseth enters, you deal 4 damage to any target, and then 3 damage up to 2 other targets. So overall, Drakuseth is just so much better. So definitely include him. And then, yeah, I said it was a little bit of a dream scenario, getting the Iridescent Tiger into a Stormscale Scion, but we saw in that one game we were able to do that. With Tannuk, we warped out the Iridescent Tiger, and I think we ramped up into him. We didn't play him on turn 4. I think we played him on turn 3. And then on turn 4, we did have a land, so we had 4 mana to work with, 3 mana to warp out the Iridescent Tiger. So we still had 1 of the 4 mana left over, and the Iridescent Tiger adds 5 mana, so that's 6 mana to work with, and we could warp out 2 more things then. So the Stormscale Scion, we got it to storm off for 2, so we created 2 copies of this 4/4 flying dragon. Of course, it gets haste thanks to Tannuk, and then all other dragons get +1/+1, so we pumped them all up. And then, yeah, we were able to just swing through with a massive board. That was awesome. Etali today, like I said, I'm not sure if he's better than the Trumpeting Carnosaur. Trumpeting Carnosaur can also be a little bit of removal if you really need it, and I think we did see in a few games as well how important the removal can be as well, so I'm really glad I included those 2. But yeah, Etali, when you attack with him, you get something from the opponent's deck, the card off the top, and you get a card off the top of your deck. There is a chance that it can just be 2 lands. That has happened to me before. It didn't happen in any of the games today, which I'm thankful for, but I think in a lot of the games when we did hit with Etali, we didn't get the best thing from our deck. I think one time we got a Tannuk, and another time we got a Zookeeper, and I think from the opponent, we just stole like a tiny, weenie creature from them, and I think in another game we did steal Sheltered by Ghosts. Thinking about that game now, I think I decided to put the Sheltered by Ghosts on Etali, but of course he would leave the battlefield because we warped him in, so that wasn't the smartest decision on my part, but I think in that game, we were also able to get 3 warps off in 1 turn, thanks to the Iridescent Tiger. So I actually do really like the Iridescent Tiger, just being able to add 5 mana, warping him in for 3. So that's, you get 2 extra mana to work with, and if you have an extra land to work with, then you'll have 6 mana, so you can warp in 2 more things on top of that. I think in another game, we saw Clive come in, and our devotion was, I think, up to 6, so then you can choose to discard your hand and then draw 6 cards. That is just so nice. once, and in another game we definitely saw the Overlord of the Boilerbilges, just how powerful he can be. Same with Twinflame Tyrant, just all creatures and all burn spells being able to do double damage. That can also help you close out games as well. So yeah, this package of red creatures I think is a lot of fun. And yeah, I think if you want to be probably more efficient, yeah, you could probably go up a few more copies of the Boilerbilges and probably more copies of the Dusk Drakuseth. That might be a little bit better, but honestly, I really like this deck that I have. It's a lot of fun playing with some of these big creatures, and I mean, be honest, guys, when was the last time you ever saw someone play Iridescent Tiger? I know he's from the Tarkir Dragonstorm set, so not super, super old, and same with Drakuseth. When was the last time you saw someone play this card? Same with Stormscale Scion. You probably don't see these creatures too much, so it's nice to, show them some love as well. And then the ramp package, I said it in the deck intro, glimpse the core, search your library for a basic forest card. I thought it could get out Stomping Grounds because it does say forest right there. It's just not a basic. So that part is a little bit unfortunate, but the ramp package still is really important. Llanowar Elf on turn 1 is nice. The Zookeeper, really like this card for 2 mana. Comes in and you can add red mana, which can help with the warp cost as well. So the ramp package I think is pretty nice. So overall, a really fun deck. I will say the thing that this deck struggles most with, and it is just a super small sample size from me playing today, but there were a few games where people just remove your Tannuk Steadfast, and then you might be left with some pretty expensive creatures in your hand, and you may not be able to play them on turn 4. Of course, if you miss a land drop, you're still stuck with 4 mana. Oftentimes you can't cast some of these bigger creatures, so heavy oops all removal decks. This one will struggle a little bit with. I think we did beat one of them today as well, and that's where the Overlord really came in clutch, as well as some of our burn spells as well. So you can beat them if that is all they're doing, but those matchups can be a little bit rough. But yeah, it's day 1 of the new set. I was really excited to try out Tannuk in a big red package, and I think it worked quite well today. I hope you guys enjoyed the video as well. If you made it this far into the video, please leave a thumbs up and drop a comment down below. What cards would you like to see me play from the new Edge of Eternity set? I have a few more brews that I've been cooking up, so keep your eyes out for some new decks coming in the next few days. But yeah, I'm gonna end it like I always end it. I love you guys. Peace out.
Bonus game.